time.
There you
No,
go.
that was hello. We're live. Every fucking time. I got really good at it as well. Hello. Welcome. I swear to fucking God. I don't even know which phone it is, which is the problem.
Is it one of yours?
It is definitely one of mine. I just don't know which one.
Yeah, no, I've been having that all day, although I moved a bunch around, so I think I know which one it was.
So, let's try that one again, shall we? Hello, welcome to episode 31 of Talkin Tech, the weekly podcast of mobile tech talk. This is episode 31, Pokemon Go Fuck Yourself.
Close.
Yeah. I'm Dom. I'm your host. I have Chris and Mark, as always, but this week we have a special guest. We have Kurt. Kurt is back, everybody.
I'm alive. Contrary to popular belief, I am not dead.
I mean, alive.
I'm alive in the sense that my body is here and I feel no feelings. So, I mean, I'm alive in that sense.
I mean, you're already ahead of me with the whole feelings thing, so we're getting there.
The whiskey makes you feel more, that's fine.
Makes me feel warm. Not like anyone ever has. Sorry. I'm so tired.
Make any comment on that.
We have just started.
I'm super tired. I'm on loads of painkillers and I'm drinking, so it's one of those days. It's one of those podcasts. You'll love these ones. I actually get some really great comments and tweets on podcasts when I'm ill because I just say the weirdest shit. So, alright, ip dip do. Chris, do you want to speak about the first one?
Yeah, so if anybody has heard of Tidal, which I think everyone has heard of Tidal, I would say I'd imagine most people have, considering last week Apple were in talks to buy them.
Plus,
we did speak about them last week.
Plus, anyone who's listening to us, we've mentioned it more than once.
Yeah, so basically they're the hi-fi. I don't know how loosely you would use that. Very loosely, according to Mark. Hi-fi streaming service, and
it's not so much hi-fi music streaming service. It's the Jay-Z music streaming service.
That
also happens to have a lossless.
Yes.
Price tier.
It used to play music, now it plays Jay-Z.
Yeah. So basically, it's just got Chromecast support.
Which I'm guessing that lots of Tidal users will love that because they have Chromecasts and things.
Tidal even have many users.
I genuinely don't. They announced numbers a little while ago, and I assume they haven't changed all that much.
Tidal...
If they have more than 25,000, I'd be super surprised.
Oh no, I bet they have more than that.
Really?
Well, they've been around for a long time, and they're
3 mil. They claim.
What?
Tidal claims 3 million global subscribers.
When was that?
What?
This was, let's go back, 29th of March 2016.
Oh, so it's only
according to Wikipedia, as of July 2016, Tidal has 4.2 million subscribers.
4.2?
Yeah.
That's shocking, actually. I mean...
That is insanely high.
Not really. I mean, don't forget...
10% of that is almost double what I thought it was going to be.
Well, don't forget, it's been around for quite some time.
Yeah, but when it first originally came out, it was $20 and exclusively for people that wanted a lossless media streaming service. So it was already very niche. And then they maybe got an influx of users when Jay-Z relaunched it. But I didn't think many of them would stick around.
Let's be honest, 4.2 million subscribers out of a global population of what, 6.5 billion or something?
Yeah, but how many paying subscribers do Spotify have? And I specifically say paying members, because I know Spotify has a lot more free members than paid.
I don't know, but I dare say Wikipedia might tell us.
Whilst Mark is Wikipediaing that, the fact that it has Chromecast is actually genuinely really good. I was really surprised when Spotify decided to get Chromecast because they were trying to push their own thing. What was it, Spotify Connect or something like that?
Yeah, Connect.
It's not.
Because although I use Google
Play, I found figures.
Huh?
March 2016, according to Wikipedia, Spotify has 30 million paid subscribers.
30 or 13?
30. 30.
0.
Wow. That's a lot.
I'm temporarily one of them.
Temporarily.
He's a cheap bastard and likes to be a student and pay half the price.
I am a student still, but I still won't sign up to Spotify. I just hate their app.
Because you're a cheap bastard? Oh.
No, because I pay Google instead, and I have to endure their asinine 4 deauthorizations a year policy.
Right, okay.
I'll put it this way, I'm so cheap, when I break a body shell, instead of just spending £4 to get a new one, I'll always try and botch it back together first.
You're like a shit MacGyver, aren't you, really? That's what you are. A very cheap version of MacGyver.
Do you just go to Halfords and buy tins of bog all the time?
No.
Do you just have it on supply from Amazon? Just every month, just send me a new can just in case.
No, hang on, I can grab one here.
Oh, shitting hell, Chris. Anyway.
The body shell I use, I broke the hole there. It kind of ripped it open. But I will...
There's a joke in there somewhere.
Yeah, I know. I will just stick a bit of plastic under there, and just refill it and reinforce the back end in the process. Just
again, there's such a joke there, and I'm not even going to take it.
There is a vast what she said in there, but I'm not going to say it.
She took it, that's why.
Yeah.
So, Tidal supporting Chromecast, again, is genuinely useful. Because Chromecast is so cheap, the user base of Chromecast is actually really large.
Well, I'd like to make the distinction between user base and owner base. Because I know lots of people who bought them because were like, wow, it's so cheap, why wouldn't you buy one? Played with it for a day or so, and then never use it.
I'll put it this way, you can get a first-gen Chromecast for £18.
That's not bad. I mean, I've still got 2 or 3 original ones, and I'm buying a second-gen one soon.
I gave up with it.
I mean, like I said, I love mine. I literally use it multiple times every day. Some of the issues it has still annoy me that are from the first generation, but the Chromecast can't fix that without turning into Android TV, so I think I might just buy an Android TV box. So yeah.
Or you'd be super skimpy and buy a cheap box that runs Android.
No, Chris.
Or you just buy...
You know what I do? I buy a Raspberry Pi 3 and flash the Android TV ROM onto that.
Oh, is there a ROM for that now?
There's a beta or RC1 build of Android TV for the Raspberry Pi 3.
Oh, sweet.
I've actually got a Pi 3 upstairs, so I might flash it on there and see what it does. But oh god. So still in the Android-ish space, that is a terrible segue. The Galaxy S7 Active, that disgustingly ugly device.
AT&T exclusive at that.
AT&T exclusive, for some reason comes in a gold colour and a camo colour.
Camo, definitely.
Failed Consumer Reports water test despite being IP67 rated.
I've got a question here. It's not really a serious question, so feel free to ignore me.
Oh no, we're definitely not. Non-serious questions are the only ones we answer. Carry on.
Right, that's fair enough. And if you get the camo version of the S7 Active, how the fuck do you see it?
No. You put it in your camo cargo shorts, and then you're just flashing it.
Look for the bulge.
I don't get it. Samsung...
Just really hope you don't go commando that day.
For fuck's sake.
Okay. So IP67 basically says that it can be submersed in 1.5 meters of water for half an hour without sustaining any damage, or liquid-based damage. And the S7 Active failed that test.
Twice. Yeah, it was put into a tank of water under 2.12 psi. For 5 minutes. Yes, for 5 minutes, and then it failed.
Yeah, so that's far and away past the before.
Does anyone have any clue how one gets IP certified? Is there a certification body? I mean, is it just
the English Protection Body?
Right. So presumably then Samsung to have got the rating that they got, although I see it as IP68, the article says not 67.
Oh, did I say 7? Sorry, I meant 8.
Yes. So presumably they have had to send some to this body and they test it and they say, right, you get this rating.
Yeah, no, it's perfectly probable. That's not the right word, but anyway, it's very likely that Consumer Reports just happened to get a couple of dud units. Like, it's like I replaced my brother's Moto G screen like 2 months ago and it's already failed. I don't think he's damaged it. It's very likely it's just a dodgy unit, and it's very likely that they just happened to get 2 dodgy units, because 2 out of even 100,000, say, because again, it's only on one carrier in one country in the world, and it's quite expensive. Say if they only sold 100,000 units, 2 of those failing isn't a big sample size whatsoever.
Yeah, but 2 out of 2 doesn't look good.
Well, no, for a device is under the active, name. It's not a good sign at all, really, is it? I mean, it might be 2, but it's 2 more than Samsung want, really.
Which is hilarious in the fact that the Galaxy S7 proper didn't fail this.
That makes sense. Just switch them round. Just call the active the S7 and the S7 the active. That's what you should do.
I nearly bought an S7 the other day.
Are you mental?
No, not for me. My mum's actually coming up to her upgrade cycle.
Is she mental?
Well, no, she got a Nexus 5 on contract, then broke it too many times, and then they ran out of Nexus 5, so they gave her an LG G2, and then she was like, fuck this G2 after like a month, so I gave her the 5.5-inch Idol 3, and she's coming up for her upgrade. And I think what I pretty much said is, I will buy you a phone with a huge screen, and I said the Xiaomi Mi Max, and I said whatever you get on your upgrade, I get to keep. And for some reason, I said Galaxy S7, and I'm changing my mind by the day. Anyway, I don't know why I said that. Again, alcohol, tiredness, and painkillers work wonders.
It's great for a start of a weekend. Sorry, right, yeah.
I mean, it's Tuesday, so it's pretty much the weekend.
Oh, yeah, true. You'd like to look at it that way.
I mean, do you guys have anything to say about this? Like, I'm not too worried, because like I said, although 2 out of 2 looks bad, again, even if they only sold 100,000 of them, 2 out of 100,000 is
pretty good, actually.
Yeah, like, and they've probably sold a lot more than 100,000.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, with the exclusive...
Before we say anything, AT&T is kind of huge.
Yeah, I know AT&T is like the one everyone knows.
I mean, that Verizon is the one everyone knows.
Oh yeah, but they don't know it for the good reasons.
No, I mean, did I tell you guys when I was in London for the Wiley Fox event with Alex Doby, there was a Verizon sewer grate. Like, it's on my Instagram. If you go to my instagram.com/mobile_dom, there is a photo of a manhole cover which has the Verizon logo on it.
That just sort of emphasises how shit Verizon are. I'm not sure if it's...
They're so shit they've come over to this country.
That's true. Just call it free and you're fine. Sorry, I shouldn't be taking dicks at free.
So, this isn't really going to work.
I might have got mine a little bit lower.
Yeah. So both me and Chris have tried to find it. Either way, go to instagram.com/mobile_dom.
He's plugging your Instagram all the time now.
I mean, my Instagram is pretty much just selfies of me at this point, because I test so many phones and people want to know what the front camera's like. I have to take loads of selfies. And then I'm just like, well, I might as well put it on Instagram.
It's not that you're vain or anything. Just you like to take selfies.
I'm an ugly motherfucker. If I take them without my glasses on, I can't even see how I look.
You won't get me disagreeing with that, actually. Sorry.
Oh no, I will take away with it. So yeah, like we'll just move on from the S7 Active, because again, it's such a small sample size. Although 2 out of 2 that they tested failed, I don't think it means anything to us, because again, Samsung had to go through the testing in the first place, and they probably tried more than 2 phones. So Who wants to speak about this next one? Because I anti-dibs it.
Kurt's the Apple fanboy, so...
Yes, Kurt's the only one with an iPhone. A usable iPhone.
A usable iPhone, yeah. That means I have to talk and shit, doesn't it? That's just...
It does indeed. I mean, this is what happens when you agree to come on my podcast.
There's
I have to do work and stuff. Right, okay.
You could always do what Mark does and just have an iPhone 5.
I've got to stay current.
I don't actually use the thing as a phone. I mean, I literally use it for headphone testing, and that's basically it. I mean, I don't know actually whether there's any battery in it. No, it's dead. The battery's died. So I should maybe charge that.
The only Apple device I own is one of the square touchscreen iPod Nanos.
I do have one, and it's a very nice colour. Here it is.
Right,
oh, that's an iPod Mini.
Kick him out of this room.
It's an iPod. No. I don't use it. It's an iPod Mini.
Just the principle of you owning that one with that colour.
I don't own it though.
Whatever, mate. So, Kurt, do you want to start this?
Yeah, I shall. Yeah, I see you paused it enough for me to read the article actually, so that's good. I prepare. So anyway. Apple Pay is finally sort of made its way to Switzerland in only supporting 3 banks at the moment, which are what is it? I'm prepared. Like I'm great here. Right, so Aldi Swiss, yeah, CNA, K Kiosk, Mobile Zone. That's not 3 banks.
But these are shops. These are places you buy things, not...
Yeah, I can't see the banks on here.
Bonus card,
there we go. No, I got it.
Swiss
Yeah,
bankers.
bonus card, corner card, and Swiss bankers. Shut up, I read things. Right, okay. Yeah, so they've got support through 3 banks, which I believe they're sort of the popular banks over in Switzerland because there's only like 4 people that live there. So that kind of makes sense.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. The article does kind of say 3 hardly major financial institutions. So I'm going to go by that as saying that these are maybe kind of small banks there.
Yeah, well,
like,
possibly.
Corner card doesn't kind of make me think banking biggie.
I just love one of them banks' names is just the simplest bank name ever, just Swiss Bankers. That's quite amazing. I said, who came up with that name? It's like
a Swiss banker.
Yeah, well, I said probably a Swiss banker. You're probably right, actually. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Or it could be a Swiss wanker in disguise.
You never know.
It's a possibility. You know.
I was out with a friend the other day that used Apple Pay, and then a couple of days ago I used Android Pay for the first time. If you haven't used them, it's pretty much identical to using a contactless card, which in that it's great. The only real benefit is if you've already got your phone out.
Yeah.
Or you forget your wallet.
But like, how many people like genuinely forget their wallet?
Forgetful person.
Forgetful people.
I mean, it might be because I have like slight OCD, but I make sure I have like a phone in one pocket, in the right pocket, my wallet in the right pocket, my keys, like my wallet. I make sure I have everything. But how many people like genuinely forget their wallet? Is that like a thing?
I did once and got to the top of the estate and realised, so I wasn't too far away. It was.
Do you not put your wallet in the same place every time?
No. Well, yes.
What is wrong with you?
I'm on the bike, and obviously I have a pocket here, and I always put wallet and the phone in there.
No, mate, your wallet goes in your back pocket, so when you sit down, you can feel it.
If you're an iPhone fan, that just bends it apparently, so you can't do that.
Yeah, no, you can't put your iPhone in your back pocket.
No, you'll have a banana phone.
Plus, I can't put the phone or wallet in my bike trousers because they're too tight. They're very small pockets. They just make it uncomfortable to ride in.
Chris also goes to the YMCA on his bike.
By the way, I've just added a thing into Slack for the rest of you to see. It just made me think of it when you say how many people genuinely forget their wallet. I don't know if anyone recalls. Tesco did an advert where a chap did forget his wallet. And so I think we absolutely must link to in the show notes, because it's the funniest advert ever.
I will make sure Craig puts it in the show notes.
Yeah, and for those of you on just now,
more disturbing is what he's wearing.
Yeah, watch the advert. It's funny.
So, Kurt, have you actually used Apple Pay?
No, because I've got one of them like really haunting feelings in the back of my mind where I'm going to be like, there's going to be a queue of people behind me, and I'm going to use Apple Pay for the first time, and it won't work.
Yeah.
It's like I can't handle those types of situations. I probably run for the hills.
Yeah, you have to go into a supermarket at like 7 in the morning.
Oh no,
you're the only person there.
That type of dedication is not going to happen. No.
You do what I do. So before you go to the queue, you stand next to the queue where you're not obstructing anybody. You check your phone. Make sure you've got a signal, because obvious reasons.
Doesn't it store a couple offline anyway?
A couple, but just in case, make sure you have signal. B, you open up your banking app. Make sure you have more than enough money in your current account and your linked card. And then D, you take your bank card out and hold it in the same hand as your phone. So just in case. Beep. And then after that first time, you're like, well, obviously it works.
See, I don't think that far ahead, really, for those situations.
Oh no, I have to think that far ahead in situations.
Because I have crippling social anxiety sometimes. So if that did happen to me, I would, yeah.
So do I, which is why I plan that far ahead in advance.
See, I've only just been able to open an account with contactless that supports Android Pay.
I was about to say, my mum doesn't have a contactless card, but she's able to use Android Pay. And because she didn't have a contactless card, she didn't even think she could use it. And now I showed her how. She loves it. She's like, this is the best thing in the world. And I was like, you should have had a contactless card for like the last 5 years. But whatever.
I can only get a contactless card by changing to Nationwide.
Yes, but Chris, you're also like 5. That's the problem.
A 5-year-old with a motorcycle license.
Motorcycle license. No, you actually do, so that's fine. A friend of mine just took his A1, and I was kind of hoping to steal it, but whatever.
Why did you take his A1?
Huh?
Why take the A1? You take the A2.
Because he's too young and can't afford to do the A2.
Well, you just do a CBET. It's valid for 2 years.
Man, like, tell
him.
And
then the money you save, you spend on the A2.
This is the part, like, you're speaking to someone who let their CBT run out and then, like, whose bike is in the back garden without an exhaust at the moment. Like,
you don't need an exhaust.
Exactly. See, that's... Somehow I think the MOT thinks I do. So yeah, no. It's launching in another country. That's great. Only 3 banks. Not the 3 biggest banks. Definite worry. But again, Apple Pay is already big enough in a couple of big enough countries that people know about it. So I doubt it'll be long before...
Yeah, plus there's the fact that Switzerland is so goddamn small, a 5-minute jaunt in any direction takes you to a grown-up country anyway, so...
There you go.
A grown-up country.
Yeah.
I don't think grown-up country is a word that, or the words that count there. I think it's jaunt.
Okay, well, maybe it doesn't apply to Italy. Should we not grown up, should we just maybe go with larger?
Yeah. But no, it's not that you said like grown up or larger. It was the word jaunt. That's the one that got me. It's a 5-minute jaunt in either direction. It's fine.
Well, Switzerland's tiny.
No, I mean it's a great word. You just don't hear it often.
Okay.
It's like someone saying buffoon. It's a great word. You just don't hear it often.
Who says it in that way as well?
Buffoon. Yeah.
I say buffoon. Do I say buffoon wrong?
Well, you said it buffoon then. Like.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You went a bit northern.
No. Fuck it. Kurt, because you said that, you can speak about iOS 10 Beta 2.
Well, it's a good job I read up on this, Dom, so fuck you. Anyway.
I thought you were running iOS Beta. I thought you were running it.
That one.
I actually ran Beta 2, because I was the one who complained about it on Twitter for a week after it was delayed because of fucking Memorial Day. Anyway, let's not talk about
Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Am I right?
How dare they, fucking Americans. Anyway,
how dare they memorialize their dead soldiers?
Yeah, how dare they? Should have get over it by now. Anyway, we're getting too far back. So iOS 10.
Somehow I don't think this is going to end well for us.
We're not. Obama's going to be on our asses anyway. So iOS 10 Beta 2 was released on last Monday. I think it was. Was it last Monday? Yes, it was last Monday.
I don't know. You've been bitching about it that much. I've lost track.
Yeah, it was last Monday, and fuck you, Chris. It was last Monday, because my.
It was last Monday, and fuck you.
Yeah, I have to say it. I mean, he's trying to take the piss out of me. I can't just not, I'm going off track.
If I'm being honest, I'm not trying very hard.
I'll tell you what. Next week we'll have Kurt and not Chris, and the week after we'll have Chris and not Kurt. How's that? We can't have you two kids together.
It is turning into a rivalry, honestly. I mean,
I'm not gonna mate. It's like seeing kids in a nursery. You got to separate them at some point.
Well, I can't help.
Anyway, tell us more about iOS 10 Beta 2.
I'm trying to stop interrupting me.
Oh my god.
Right. So iOS 10 Beta 2 came out last Monday. We got that right. We got the fact right on that one. And it was an issue I've been having with Beta 1 where my phone would get to, I would say, 40% in charge, and then it would turn itself off because it needs charging. Like it would go to the splash screen to say it needed charging, and I have to put it on a charger for it to turn back on again. And there's a couple of sort of niggly bits where I'm going to say this. I thought it was a bug to start with, but when you go into the home screen for the first time and go to the notification panel, it only shows the notifications and not the widgets. And I thought that was actually a fix by Apple in that regard, because giving the widgets sort of their own sort of part in the device, like on to the left of the home screen, sort of made sense. It's got its own entity now. You don't have to piss about going to the notification center and swiping left. But it turns out it wasn't. It was a bug. So I mean,
are widgets even useful in iOS 10?
Not really, because they don't update that often. You have to sort of force update them in a way. You have to go to the home screen and swipe right or left, and then straight to the left, and it updates it manually.
Is it almost like the Apple Watch, like first gen Apple Watch, where it would only update when it was synced to your phone, but otherwise it was almost a disconnected device?
Yeah, it's exactly like that in some regard. Yeah, it's very clunky. Like I say, it's a beta. I mean, it's going to have some bugs. I mean, what doesn't have bugs? So yeah, but in terms of everything, it's really well. I'm going to say one thing though. I fucking despise the San Francisco font in bold. Oh, really? In bold, in Apple Music and in the Apple News application as well. It makes it look like a massive BuzzFeed article, and that, to me, that just makes me want to remove it.
Oh, I'm seeing that now, and I totally get it.
Yeah,
wow. It's almost too bold.
It is.
It's like someone put a font in bold and then re-bolded it, if that's possible.
Yeah, it's not very nice. We need to change it to when the old iOS 9 days. I say old. It's not that old.
The old iOS 9 days from 9 months.
I'm gonna put my flat cap on now and smoke my pipe and just sit in the corner and just reminisce about the old iOS 9 days, like you did.
That is literally me after this podcast.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm keeping it as long as I can, so you can die in pain. Anyway.
Oh, God. Sadistic motherfucker. No wonder you work so well on this podcast.
But the Helvetica New font, you know what they used in iOS 9 when that first came out, and iOS 7 in regard to that. But need to sort of go back to the thinness of that. Just use that in not bold, like an italics sort of way. Use that as a heading or something to sort of make it look a bit more aesthetically pleasing.
Until they get rid of the legacy non-Retina devices, I don't think they can, because Helvetica Neue or New, or however you say it, looked shite on those.
True, yeah, it did look very distorted. The word, it's distorted the word. I'm not sure. It's a word I'm using. I just don't know what it is.
Fucked up.
But surely that, as far as Apple would be concerned, would be a reason to push it to all devices. I mean, they have been known to push OS updates to all devices, perhaps not by accident, grinding them into crapness.
I've had to.
So
I'm not bitter or salty. Why do people say salty? I don't get that.
I don't know.
I don't think they do.
I think
people
that's the youth
say
thing.
salty.
Yeah.
I think it's a youth thing, if I'm going to be honest, because everyone I talk to says salty. They don't say bitter, they say salty.
I don't
Must
get
be
it.
a thing with the kids.
Because if something's bitter, you're like, ooh. But like, if I'm tasting food that's kind of rather salty, I'm like, well, that's kind of annoying, but I'll get on with it.
I'm not saying anything. There's too many innuendo possibilities.
Ah, God, no one said in your endo. I'm almost upset, but not really. Alright, so, who wants to speak about Windows Phone losing yet another app?
Nobody does.
I'll do it.
Nobody cares.
I've still got a Windows Phone.
I mean, so have I, but it's in a box.
You know, and it's a really nice device. It really is.
I'd love to give Windows Phone and iOS a shot.
It's so nice. I love the whole like Bing images thing that it automatically uses. It's so nice.
Chris, it's great until you start to use it, and then it's just like, well,
yeah.
Like, if you need to use anything even remotely different to what Microsoft offers, you're pretty much shit out of luck.
You might as well stick the phone there, get a gun, and shoot it.
Oh yeah, I mean it has problems certainly, and
if you can use it as a slightly smarter dumb phone, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean certainly the app issues are they're an issue. Although kind of like CNN going away, it's like, oh no, who cares?
I mean, especially when you can just use the website.
Well, not just the website, but I mean, why would you? I mean, who the fuck actually makes a point of going to CNN for news?
In the UK, not a lot of us, but I know a lot of Americans do.
Outside of America, I would wager practically no one. Even in America, still, news is news. News can be aggregated by basically everybody. So why do you have to go to CNN for your news? If they don't provide the news that you want, you'll just go to somebody else because the news isn't, it's not copyrightable. CNN doesn't have a global exclusive. CNN doesn't get a global exclusive on, the news that happened that day. So
didn't they get a global exclusive on who they thought was Satoshi Nakamoto, the Bitcoin guy? Or was that someone else?
Well, they get the global exclusive right up until after they broadcast, in which case then everybody else can say what
it's free content
happened. So yeah, I mean, if they get a world exclusive on a 30-minute program for a good total of 30 minutes. So it just seems, to be honest, this just seems like CNN trying to advertise the fact that they have an app for other platforms.
I mean, it again makes total sense. But back to what I said a minute ago, it's if the only real way I can recommend a Windows Phone to someone, which I pretty much can't for any reason, is if they are only coming from a dumb phone and they only expect to use it as a slightly more advanced version of that. So they have a dumb.
Dora does the same job.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I kind of view it as if you want a smartphone, but you want it to be really nice and simple to use, in the kind of an iOS-like fashion, but you don't want to buy an iPhone because, if it's for your granny or your auntie and whatever, and, they really don't need a £600 phone. So you can buy them, a 50, 100 quid Windows phone. It'll do everything that they want. It'll browse the internet, right? Which, let's face it, that's the key app.
That's what I'm saying. It's a slightly more advanced dumb phone. Like, it has WhatsApp, which is probably the most advanced they're going to use.
What? Because your granny's going to be using WhatsApp, is she?
It depends. Like my aunts, uncles, and grands, and everything in Italy do use WhatsApp because they live up in the mountains where getting a reliable phone signal is
okay, and if WhatsApp wasn't available, they could use Skype. They could use
and
Viber.
That's what they've come from Skype.
Yeah, but there is a myriad of other applications that can fill that same role. None of these are absolutely crucial deal breakers.
Oh no, but like if Windows Phone loses WhatsApp, I think it'll be a big blow.
That will surely
It won't be the killing blow. I think it'll be a big blow.
I mean, Windows Phone or Microsoft in particular have been taking so many shots. I mean, they've taken so much beatings in the past about this. I mean, Google services not been available for it.
I literally wrote an editorial about it.
I know I skimmed through it because it was a long thing, but anyway.
It was very long.
But a phone or an operating system can't really survive without Google services backing. Really, like you said in your editorial, really, it's going to be difficult to really survive in a big pond of people who have got Google services backing. And Windows Phone doesn't have that. I mean, they've got a YouTube app which doesn't actually have a YouTube application. It's literally a link to the website. That's all it is. And there's the apps that are on there are nice, and Windows Phone is a nice operating system. It's very simple to use. It's aesthetically pleasing. It's just a very, very nice operating system. There's no two ways about it. But if you don't expect much from an operating system, or if you're coming from a dumb phone, like you say, and you don't expect much, then Windows Phone, go for it.
It's almost like the new Symbian, now that I think about it. In such a way as it's got the basic stuff, and it's what you kind of use as a stepping stone to a real smartphone, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Alright, seeing as I really can't be bothered, who wants to speak about the next one? It's Pokemon Go. I assume Chris, you're the youngest one here. Do you want to speak about it?
Yeah, you're hip and young.
I never played Pokemon.
My hip and I'm definitely not young, so whatever.
No, so Pokemon Go is the latest game out of Pokemon.
Fucking hell.
Just bravo.
It's from the Pokemon Company.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I had an idea of what I was going to say, and
I'm literally praying to every available deity right now. I don't even... Like a white girl in Starbucks, I can't even, Chris.
I was going to say something because I forgot what it was. So
Pokemon Go's a new game by Pokemon. That's what we got. So.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Do you want to try again, mate?
I'm just gonna leave now. Okay. I'm just
gonna carry on brushing my hair.
So Pokemon Go is the latest game in the Pokemon series. Is that better?
That sounds a lot better.
Yeah, that would be in English.
I think that's what I was trying to say. Basically you walk around the streets collecting Pokemon. In a nutshell, if anyone played English. It's basically a reskin version of that, and it has taken a huge hit, take-off, however you want to word it. And there's been quite a few stories floating around, and one of them, which is this one, is that a 19-year-old girl was out fighting Pokemon, capturing Pokemon, should I say?
Can we just say, I'm glad 19-year-olds are out again. They're not sitting behind their computers on their Instagrams. They're actually out in the real world.
70-year-olds out there with you see 70-year-olds. Someone said they saw a 70-year-old with a really basic Android phone playing Pokemon Go. And
he's done more than I have. I've logged into the app and then it started raining and I was like, fuck this.
I haven't got far to downloading it, so. And she discovered a 19-year-old body. This was done and it was the exact point of where the body was there was a Pokemon, and it was in.
Oh, we've lost audio from someone.
Yes, it appears to be Kurt.
Oh.
Kurt,
I muted myself for a moment whilst I went and got a beverage top-up.
I ran out of beverage.
I've run out of everything. So she was out looking for Pokemon.
To be fair, I think you've had enough to drink already, Chris.
I've not even had. I tell you, all I've drank is
whatever you've had. It's enough.
So she was out discovering Pokemon, and she found this Pokemon and body in the middle of a little stream. There's no.
So basically, this was girl playing game, stumbles across corpse in ditch.
Well, I'd assume, yeah. The bit I've not seen is how this chap was, because he was dead. There was no two ways about it, but it was. I don't know his cause of death.
Bravo.
Did he drown searching for Pokemon, or was he killed? Which is kind of a bit of a smooth segue to the next one.
Depends on how decomposed the body was.
Yeah.
Obviously, they won't tell us that, but...
No, it was a... But no, so...
Well, they will eventually. It's just by that point, nobody will give a shit.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see people getting out. Which is quite...
Yeah, I kind of think this... you know, I know that we haven't really titled these as, you know, talking about Pokemon Go, but let's face it, it's going to happen. You know, like Ingress, you know, I think this is kind of a really good idea for lots of reasons. You know, conceptually and just for, you know, kind of getting people out and used to playing things outside rather than just sitting indoors, especially given it's coming up to summertime.
I cannot wait for Mophie to make a battery case for the iPhone and Samsung Galaxy devices that looks like a Pokédex on the back.
Yes.
Because you know it's going to happen. They're going to make a Pokemon Go themed battery case for your iPhone or Galaxy device that looks like a Pokédex, and also it improves your battery whilst you play, so you can play for longer.
This is actually a thing. I take it none of us are Ingress players.
I mean, I played it for a couple of weeks.
Oh no,
again,
I mean, people play it.
Oh no, because we live in the UK, there's a thing called rain more often than not. So
I know, but I have in the past at some Edinburgh-based Android events conversed with people who were really, really into Ingress, and this was a while ago. And part of what they said was, yeah, you know, when they play, you know, when they're, you know, spending a weekend playing Ingress, crazy people. You know, they have a stack of batteries because they had a stack of batteries because this was like, you know, a couple of years ago when you could still buy phones that actually had user replaceable batteries.
You still can these days.
Yeah, there's only
it's called the LG G5, and no one should buy it.
But if you know, if you are a really massive game player and you need to be able to use a replace battery.
Would you not rather just have a battery that lasted a lot longer?
Well, of course. I mean, I would buy that crazy Alcatel thing. That
I was about to say, I wonder how long it takes Alcatel to like brand this as a Pokemon Go phone.
Well, exactly.
Oh my God! Can someone buy this and then like make that piece? Like, I bought a £150 phone for Pokemon Go. It lasted me a weekend. Like, can someone please make that?
I don't know.
You've got 5 months to play Pokemon Go first.
All right.
Yeah, well, I'm not playing Pokemon Go.
I mean, I'll ask Craig and see what he says, because that seems like a thing. Like, I bought the 10,000 mAh phone to play Pokemon Go. Here's how
Well, it could be. I mean, you know, is it going to be that Pokemon Go could be the savior that we've all been searching for? Because how often do we all say the thing we most want about new phones is a bigger fucking battery?
I mean, most people don't say bigger battery, they want a longer lasting battery.
Oh, yeah, which means bigger.
Does it?
Yeah.
Battery efficiency also kind of comes into play, but that is rare nowadays.
But fundamentally, you know, if you want your phone to last 3 times as long as it does now. You need to put a bigger battery in it.
Well, yeah,
that's the one thing everyone always says, oh, I want it to last longer, and then a lot of people will then say, therefore I want a bigger battery.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, the two
things aren't mutually exclusive.
No. If somebody develops a microfusion generator that we can slot into phones, and the lifespan becomes measured in decades, I'm fine with that. It can be as tiny as it wants. I just want it to last a long time.
It's a bit ambitious.
So I'm fine with having a nuclear reactor in my pocket. This phone lasts for days. It's like the people that said, oh my god, they got the Mars rover, what's it called? Curiosity. Curiosity was refueled before it left Earth and it was still driving now. I was like, yeah, it's literally a nuclear power plant.
Yeah.
And it is traveling 5 miles a day. Strange that, isn't it?
Although I thought the thing was solar powered.
I think it's partially solar panel, but it actually does have
it's got panels on it, hasn't it?
It has a small nuclear reactor in it.
Yeah, a lot of them use decay reactors for generating heat to keep the things, not so much always for generating electricity, but for making the thing warm enough so that it doesn't, become an ice cube.
Yeah, so I'll switch to the next Pokemon Go piece. And
2 for 1, thank you, Chris.
So my birthday.
Try hard.
Just as bad as finding a body.
Is it?
No.
I think I'm better to find a body than this.
Just as bad as finding a dead body? Getting robbed? Is it? Is it really?
You'd probably found in a ditch anyway. I mean, if you play your cards right.
So, someone gets robbed and then they kill you and put you in a ditch, and then another Pokemon Go player.
And then you get stolen into a body again, and then it's your social media craze.
Oh. So BuzzFeed is going to be all over this.
So a couple of armed robbers used Pokemon Go to lure, I think it was some children or some adults. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, 16 to 18-year-olds. It says.
Yeah, it's been
so if you want to go ahead and call those children, you are absolutely welcome to, Chris.
I think there's a couple. It's been.
Let's be honest, a lot of them act like children.
Yeah, true. It's been reported.
It's also Missouri that it took place in, so.
Oh, was it? I didn't actually even read that far. I just read the title. I was like, well.
Yes, in a town called O'Fallon.
Missouri.
Carry on.
Yeah, and it also, sorry, can I just say, it was also at 2 a.m. because, what you want to do at 2 a.m. in Missouri is wander around like deserted car parks. Because, there's nothing potentially bad could come of that, could it?
No, this is where it comes from. They used Pokemon Go, they set Pokemon. They put on a geo.
Yeah, but this is the same as when people went, oh, I drove into the lake because the GPS told me to. It's like you wandered around a car park at 2 a.m. because your phone told you to.
Yeah, there's an element of common sense in there, isn't there?
The feature that kind of got them there, Pokemon Go has a feature called lures, which means you can plant a lure, and like it does when you're fishing, it attracts Pokemon. The bad thing is it also attracts people, so anyone can actually plant a lure. So these robbers planted a lure to attract people with the side effect of catching Pokemon, and then rob people.
Robbing them. I think they were going to rob them at gunpoint.
Exactly.
If you're going to do it, you might as well do it properly. Do it in a place where gun access is easy to come across.
Who at 2 a.m. would just get up and think, hang on, there was a lure in this car park over here. Let's see. We've got nothing will happen.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's if this was 2 o'clock in the afternoon, okay, fine, big story. But it was 2 a.m. Seriously. I mean. What did they think stumbling around a car park at 2 a.m. was anything good was going to come out of that?
It depends what you're looking for in a car park, I guess.
2 a.m.
There could be a sick Charizard in that.
There could be, yeah. There could be a sick Jinx as well. Or,
I'm
not naming Pokemon. Just stop. Just piss off. I'm not naming Pokemon. Stop it.
Does anyone I'm the world's only Mew.
I know all of them, which is the saddest thing. When work colleagues just say, "Oh, there's a silhouette of a Pokemon here," I just straight away I tell them. I straight away. I am literally 13. Literally 13.
I take it you played Pokemon as a kid.
I still play the current ones actually, the new
ones.
Are
they any good? I was genuinely going to buy a 2DS to buy the new one.
They're trying too hard to modernise Pokemon.
Is it worth buying new hardware to play them?
Well, the DS is the cheapest chips now anyway, really.
I mean, I've got a DS Lite. That's the last time I bought a DS. Is it worth me buying a 2DS?
It's very fun. It's all 3D and shit now, and it's all snazzy and stuff, and it's the same mechanics as you loved when you were younger. Well, you're kind of young anyway, Dom, I think. Although you're drunk all the time now, so it's...
Like a true journalist.
But yeah, it is good. I get it. They are cheap now. You can get Pokemon deals for it and stuff like that.
55 to 62 quid. 52 is the cheapest.
See, what I do a lot of the time is I actually emulate a Game Boy on my Raspberry Pi, and then I do it on the projector. So I'm playing like Pokemon Ruby at like 85 inches. That's pretty great.
I'm not supposed to say it was great, but yeah.
I mean, no, it is like genuinely pretty great. So that is the news. The news is done. We've actually got a lot of upcoming posts this week. It's actually a pretty packed week. Now that I look at it.
Got back into schedule again.
And it's going to go down the toilet next week. But no, carry on. Mark, you've got the Z5. Speak.
Well, yes, the review is going up. I no longer have the Z5.
Are you really that upset that it's gone?
No.
And that's the review, people.
It's a really nice phone, though. It is a really nice phone. I did really like it. The only things that I would say is its biggest problem is that Sony's lineup is just so confusing.
Yes.
It just is, and I look at it, I look at the price of it, and say, well, is that going to be better than the Z5 Premium or the X Performance?
There's the XA. The XA is the cheapest.
The XA does genuinely look quite interesting to me, but again, like everything Sony makes, it's way too expensive.
Well, there is that. But then when you come to the expense, you look at the Z5 and I look at the Z3, and essentially the difference is slightly lesser processor, no fingerprint sensor, which I can totally be fine with,
and it was like a different camera.
Yeah, the camera. Well, with the photos that I took, they just, to me, and we all know how much I love taking photos. So I absolutely do. It's like, you know.
It's a marginal sensor difference.
Yeah, I couldn't look at the two and tell you there was any, you know, from the results. So, and is the Z5 like £180 better? No. But it is a really nice phone. It is a really nice phone. If anyone was to
is the Z5 a G4 better than the Z3 Plus? Okay, so that's the Z5. Now, praise tell, who somehow is also reviewing a set of headphones called the Blue Dio UFOs?
That's me.
Oh, really? I never would have guessed. So tell us a bit about the UFOs.
Well, they have seen a sort of a slight naming issue. It seems as though they were called the UFOs, and the things actually still have UFO written on them, but they're now just called the U's.
Okay.
Just the U.
As in the letter U, not the word U.
Yes, that's correct.
Yay for clear branding.
Yay. So that aside, which is kind of slightly confusing, and I really don't understand why companies must feel the need to dick around with the names of products.
Because also they literally say UFO quite largely on them on the headband.
Yeah.
That's about as bold as you can get.
Yeah, what did they say on the side?
I can't see it by now.
U. It's a black U in a silver box.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a fancy ass font at that as well.
Yeah. But you know, they're quite nice. They bizarrely, these things have a total of 8 drivers in them.
What?
Yeah. 4 in each side.
I mean, I would have guessed, but you never know. It could have been 5 and 1.
Yeah, it could have been.
Well, to be honest, yeah. I mean, I don't love these.
Are they wired, wireless?
Well, you can use either. They have Bluetooth. They have nice controls on the side.
Oh, they look nice.
So you can use them wireless, or you can, get one of these supplied wires and plug them in.
Okay. Wait, I don't want you to give the review away. I will tell people to go read the review. So I believe Craig has the next ones. Are they mixed drops?
Drips. I've not got a clue what that is.
They're headphones that Craig has, I believe. So, J&L Real BTS22 is the speaker you showed off last week, isn't it, Mark? The longer aluminium one. Yeah.
That one. Yay.
Again, give us the quick one-sentence rundown. Do you love it? Do you hate it?
I really like it.
Okay. Brill. So, moving on. The Jotech 10,400 mAh battery pack. Who's that?
Mark.
Oh, that's me.
Shitting hell, Mark.
The next one's Mark as well.
Yeah, because reviewing non-audio stuff is so easy. It's like
2 second job, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't have to spend like hours and hours and hours and hours listening to shit. Right, I would pick that up. Oh, right, there it is.
Again, one sentence review. Love it, hate it, is it worth buying?
Yes.
That doesn't help.
It's a sentence.
Yes, it's good.
A loose term of the phrase.
I tell you what I like about that, and I've never tried one.
This is essentially what you can see is the key aspect. Because how many power packs have any of you seen that allow you to charge with a lightning cable?
That was what I was just about to get to.
It wasn't high resolution enough for me to see that was a lightning cable. That is actually very interesting.
Yeah,
that is very interesting.
The two little ones.
Yeah.
One of those is micro.
Oh, there we go. Now I can see.
In one is lightning, in two is micro.
Yeah. It hadn't focused for me to see that. Now I can see it. So this means recently. I know it is recently, like within the last year, that Apple has allowed people to do female MFI certification because people have been able to make male MFI parts.
Yeah. So essentially, if you are in a mixed household that has micro USB cables sitting around and lightning cables, well, either will happily charge this, and it's also got two sockets out, which is nice. And
Type A sockets, yeah.
Yeah, one of them, I don't know if you noticed, is blue, and that's Quick Charge 2 and 3 compatible.
Awesome.
Question, just quickly. Can you use the micro USB and the lightning at the same time to reduce the amount of time it takes to charge?
I don't know. I suspect that probably wouldn't be a good idea and would be a nice way to make battery go super hot and melty, burning your house down.
No,
so
No, I will.
I think it's EasyACC do have dual micro USB ports to charge the thing faster. So as long as it's got the ICs, the integrated circuits, to manage that properly, it should be fine.
Yeah, to be honest, it's not really something I thought of. Charging things like this, I tend to look as that's an overnighter. I plug it in and I'll come back to it tomorrow. I don't care.
10,400 milliamp hours isn't too bad. It's when you get into the 22,000 is when it gets a bit. Yeah. All right. So you also have the Jotech 33 watt USB-C charger, I believe.
Yes. Although I no longer have that in my possession at the moment because that is a car charger.
Okay.
And that has two sockets output. One is a standard USB rectangle, and the other is a USB-C output.
All right. For future reference, Type A is the rectangle. Type B is what goes in printers, and Type C is obviously the small ovular one. Have you used it yet, Mark?
I have. That's why the review is written and scheduled.
I haven't even. Not even I haven't looked. Is it any good?
Yeah, I mean it is. It's it feels like a nice quality product. The current output is good.
Is it quick charge?
Is it? Oh, I think so.
I think it was.
Does quick charge make most sense in a car?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Like to me it seems to.
I think it seems good for it, particularly with the USB-C and the fact that laptops are going to start wanting USB Type-C connectors for charging.
And if they use the USB power delivery spec,
if you are like Craig and you are seeming constantly traveling from place to place, then it's exactly the kind of thing you want to plug in for half an hour to get a quick charge between your next stop.
Brill. Chris, you've got the Xperia X.
Well, got rid of it.
Shitting hell, man. If I say have, I mean had. I'm sorry. Chris, you had the Xperia X. How was
it? Good. Fingerprint scanner was shit, and it's terribly overpriced.
Brill. Who has the exquisite IE2000?
What?
Who has the next thing, the exquisite IE200?
Craig.
What is it?
I think it's a pair of earphones.
Right, so I'll speak to him about them. Who knows? Kurt, do you have anything?
My Lumia 650 review is done. It's a matter of when it's going to be scheduled, I guess. So it could be this week or next week.
Cool. Do I even have to ask how you found it?
You don't, Dom, because you know the answer to it. It is a piece of shit.
Well, I think we all could have guessed that.
Well, yeah.
Well, hopefully we're going to get you something nicer to review next time.
It better do. I'm being fucking punished here.
No, you're actually getting a 950 XL.
So bad, so bad.
I had a 950 and I didn't even review it in the end because it would have been a hit piece, and I didn't want to do a hit piece.
It is. I didn't think about it at the time.
It's hard not to make it sound like a hit piece.
I mean, the 650 review I was very nice on it in a couple of points. Like the display is very good for the price. It's an excellent display. The color reproduction is fantastic for an AMOLED display of that caliber, and the camera. That's the one. The camera is also really, really good. It's got good color reproduction. It's not over sharpening. The macro mode is fantastic. And then that's about it. The rest of it is sort of trying not to be a dick about it. It's shit, but I can't just say that in the review because I got people to,
It's basically, they're the good bits, the rest is all the OS problem.
No, it's even got processor problems.
Oh, has it got processor problems as well?
It's just terrible. You may as well not have a processor in it. It is that bad, honestly, it is that bad.
Yeah, which is the processor in it? Is it
Snapdragon 212?
The 212, yeah.
Yeah, it does seem as though they've kind of, I don't understand why they've gone for the, really kind of bottom end.
Because business people don't play games, and business people just need... They basically use it like a slightly more advanced smartphone, apparently. Alright, so let's have a look at the current devices. Oh, before we do that, I've got the Wiley Fox Spark review going up in like 2 days. TLDR, I have to hate you and know you hate yourself before I recommend this phone to you. That's about it.
Read Alex Dolby's review in the meantime if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, no, I was really tempted to just present my review as a link to his review because it was so well done.
I didn't read the whole thing. I just scanned it. I was like, yeah, he didn't really take to that too well.
It's really hard to even when you say well, it's only £80. It's no. Bullshit, motherfucker. I can get a Moto E for £80 that performs way better than this. They made the wrong compromises.
Would the first 7, which to recap is the £25 phone from Vodafone, do better?
More than likely, because they knew where to cut corners. Wiley Fox had some very strict things we won't go below HD, which is a really good thing to have. Except if you're rendering things at 720p, that means you need more room to cache those images and stuff. And when you've only got 1 gig of RAM, that's...
Yes, because I remember the first had some WVGA screen on it, which was horrid to look at, but then again, it was that small. Why would you be looking at it anyway?
Yeah. So, looking at the next thing, which is current devices, I have 2 of them. I have the Motorola G4 Plus, which is here. It's currently doing a Geekbench battery rundown test. and the Alcatel Idol 4 and 4S, which are actually arriving to me tomorrow. But yeah, no, G4 Plus, again, I kind of just want my review to link to Vlad Savol's review from The Verge. And I've only had it like 12 hours, and I'm really trying not to let this initial impression taint the rest of the review, but it's not looking great. And it's not horrendously bad, but it's when I think about what
better.
When I think about what the Moto G was and what it is now, I guess sad. Speaking of the Idol 4s, because I don't actually have them yet, I can't really say anything apart from the fact I'm quite excited. I believe I'm getting a 4 and a 4S. I should be getting both. So yeah. Oh, and only the North American version gets a fingerprint scanner.
See, that was odd because with the
Xperia
X, the version we got here in the UK had a fingerprint scanner, but the American version didn't.
Yep. Yep, and the Vodafone Platinum 7 has a fingerprint scanner, which is a rebadged version of the Idol 4, not the 4S. So, it's just super weird. Right. Connor, one of our newest and youngest writers, is going to be getting an iPhone SE to review, and I think he's quite excited about that.
So jealous of him. So jealous of him.
Yeah.
I think coming from his LG G3, I think he's more than happy.
Yeah.
That's what he runs normally.
So yeah, I think I'll get a couple of comments from him before we start next week. And Chris, you have or are getting a Smart Ultra 7 from Vodafone, which is another rebranded Alcatel phone.
That's the 125 pound variant, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it has a 5.5-inch 1080p display, a Helio P10. It's pretty much spec-wise very similar to the Oppo, the F1 Plus, apart from 3 GB of RAM. Huh?
I'm actually with all the Vodafone phones I've used, so that's the Smart Speed 6. I had the first 7 and the Smart 7. I have actually been quite happy with them.
Again, they know their place, and that's the
yeah, because
I had be more than they are.
I had I want to say back in the day, but I'm not that old. I had a Vodafone.
Don't lie to yourself.
I had a Vodafone Smart 858. I liked it, and then I quickly came to hate it. And that's what I had with the impression when that was in my mind what I was thinking when I was having the Speed 6. And I had the Speed 6, it was fine. And the more I've played, the more I've liked them.
Which is good. Yeah. It's that you're not letting previous experiences taint.
But they're never no 6p.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, yeah, it's kind of a different remit, isn't it? Really?
But even if you go for the Platinum 7, which is the high-end one for 300, it's a very good phone, but I don't think it's...
Is it... Pardon me for the dumb question, but is the Platinum 7, whatever it is, I've forgotten the name already, it told me about 2 seconds ago, is that meant to compete with like flagship caliber smartphones, or is that a mid-range?
Pretty much. It's a high-end mid-range phone, so it's...
I'm going to say it was brought out to mark the 10-year anniversary of Vodafone putting their stamp on stuff.
So it's 5.5-inch Quad HD AMOLED display, fingerprint scanner, Snapdragon 652. But the thing is,
going to get let down by software because it's not going to get the next version.
Well,
not just that. B, the OnePlus 3 is like 30 quid more and way better.
That's what I said about the Xperia X. For the 450 price tag, it is way, way too much expensive. I think I even said get the OnePlus 3 instead.
The 20 quid price hike that Brexit had on the OnePlus 3, whether or not you believe in the UK political situation that it actually had that much of a bearing, that's not for this podcast. But OnePlus saying they had to raise the price of the 3 because of Brexit weakening the pound an extra 20 quid, is probably the best thing that ever happened to the Platinum 7 because it made that chasm bigger. It's still not big enough for me to recommend the Platinum 7 over the OnePlus.
Yeah, that I think is the problem. I think if the OnePlus didn't exist,
or if this was 50 quid less.
Yeah, they'd probably stand somewhere, but I've not reviewed it or stroke played with it, so I can't really comment too much. But from what you see on paper,
it's not bad by any means, but I'm not sure it's worth 300.
The difference, though, is going to be that you can get this on a contract from Vodafone.
Yes.
Yes, and I think that's how a lot of it will be sold.
Obviously, those are the type of customers they're bringing in, aren't they? Because it's their brand phone. So.
Well, yeah, not just that. There's I mean, all of us generally are quite happy buying, SIM-free devices. However, most people still they want a contract that they are not willing to prepare. They're just not willing to pay up front the headline cost of a phone. They want it for free.
It's when I tell people that this phone only costs £200. They're like, what? And I'm like, you realise how much your iPhone costs, right?
It is. It's a matter of. Yeah,
that's the thing they don't.
It's a matter of perspective, isn't it? You tell people, oh, but this phone was £300, and they say, oh, wow, I can get one on contract for less than that, but they don't take into the fact that they're into a 24-month contract, and they'll pay more over time. They don't see that.
But people don't care. I mean, they just like my sister. I kind of use as my example.
I mean, we can use my mum from earlier today.
Yeah, I mean, we've all got family members that I'm sure do the same thing, and you say, but you will pay more for it. You will just buy the phone outright. And the last time it was I don't have £500 to buy a phone. It's like, well, do you actually need a £500 phone? Really? Do you need?
I was getting that a lot. If you ever have a Vodafone branded device to review, and you speak to people and you talk about it in conversation, or you just pull it out, I was finding just pulling it out of my pocket was drumming up attention on it. Just to say what?
I'm not saying it. I am not saying it. I've done well.
And on that, offhand comment, I am ending this podcast because I actually want to go eat because my stomach's rumbling. So, thank you for listening to episode 31 of Talkin Tech Pokemon Go Fuck Yourself. You can get me at mobile_dom on Twitter. Mark is at Mark2410. Chris is at ChrisWallace959. And Kurt is at Kurt Kolbeck.
Although, just before we finish off, can we just say, for those of you out there playing Pokemon Go, don't go cruising car parks at 2 a.m. It's never a good idea.
Have some common sense.
Yeah.
I was going to say, please play responsibly, but I thought that might sound like a gambling advert.
I don't know. I'm just waiting for somebody to put one of these Pokemon lures in the fucking middle of Hampstead Heath and see how that works out.
Anyway, the site is at mttfeed. Find us at www.mobiletechtalk.co.uk. Instagram, we are Mobile Tech Talk. Facebook, Mobile Tech Talk UK. YouTube and Google+. Just search for Mobile Tech Talk because they won't give us fancy URLs yet. And last but not least, our Patreon. Patreon.com/Mobile Tech Talk. If you give us some money, we can make better shit for you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I should learn to breathe between the last bit.
That would help because you'd be less dead then.
And we're still live.
Would I really? And yes, we are still live, but not anymore.